So I'm about to give birth in the next few hours. It's currently 7:38 p.m. Monday, April 11th, 2022. Tomorrow is April 12th, and at midnight I will be going live with this new business, with this new website where it'll be available for public. I am right now I'm feeling rather lukewarm. I'm not as anxious or nervous as I was like a few days leading up to this. Like last night I had a little premiere moment with my VIP members in my community, and I got good feedback, and I made some more updates and changes, and I think it's relatively good to go. I really don't know. That's the thing. I don't exactly know, and I think that's why I'm a little nervous. I did use the figure of speech that I'm like giving birth, and that's what it literally feels like. And I don't care if anyone thinks that I'm exaggerating or people think that I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, it's a figure of speech, but I am actually like, that's exactly what it feels like to me, because I am taking it seriously. It is my responsibility. Yeah, it's a new business. It's something that I've never done before. I've been doing my vocation. I've been walking on this path of serving people for since 2014. So I'm not new to the business field. Obviously, I've also done stuff in business development, so I'm not new to the business world. But this thing is my own thing now. New line. It's a new brand, and I am like seeing it as if I'm literally giving birth, because it will literally be like a baby. Why? Because once I give birth to it, I have to tend to it. I have to take care of it, nurture it, nourish it, look after it, make it good, and develop it over time. And so I think that's where the anxiety is coming from. But like I said, anxiety isn't really there anymore. I was more anxious like a few days leading up to it. Like I was more anxious yesterday, but now I'm like, ugh, whatever. And I think it took me a while to be okay with the fact that at first launch, it wasn't gonna have everything that I had originally envisioned there to be. Like I had a specific vision, although it wasn't like exactly specific. I think I had like a general idea, and I think the way it's looking now, it is exactly how I envisioned it. And I think throughout the development period, I came up with more ideas, and then I was trying to add it, and obviously that takes more time and process. And I think that, I don't know, I learned a lot about myself actually throughout this process. And learned some other lessons having to do with other people as well, which, like, I really feel like I just went through a whole pregnancy period, which that's a little bit of an exaggeration, because this didn't take like 9 months of planning. If anything, like I was thinking about this like early in the year. Like I was entertaining the idea. Like I don't know exactly when. No, I decided that I wanted to do this at the end of like January, I think, at the early February, but I didn't know how much of, like, I don't think I took it seriously at first. Well, it was serious. I never do things like spontaneously without knowing what I'm getting myself into. But I don't think that I understood the degree of what I was getting myself into, because it's business and I take business seriously. So this is serious business. And I think the fact that I see the potential of this business, it's a brand, and there's so much more coming. Like I already mentioned, at the first launch, it's not gonna have everything. I have more products coming in, so I'm excited for how it's going to develop. So it's almost like I'm giving birth to a premature baby. Maybe that was another thing that was adding to my anxiety, because it wasn't like entirely like ready the way that I wanted it to be ready. But one thing for sure was that I wanted to put it out there before. I wanted to definitely do it during the Aries season. So I had specific things in mind. I had a deadline, I had timing for everything, and I was experiencing some delays throughout like the whole month of February and March, which I could talk more about that, but I don't really want to blast stuff on here, like having to do with other people. But I think that was another lesson that I actually learned. For me, I think it's like, that's another story, so I'm not gonna get into that. But I think the way that I was experiencing a delay was the way that I was fueling my anxiety more. But in a way, it kind of propelled me to kind of push forward. I was like, fuck it. Like, you know, because if I am gonna do it, let me just put it out there, because I cannot with these delays. I am naturally not a patient person because I naturally work very fast. My mind works very fast when it comes to certain things, like especially business things. And yes, things take time, but I think those things can be engineered depending on like who you're working with and like how you're doing this. And of course, for me, since this was my first time doing this, I underestimated like what I was going to need and how much of what I was going to need. So I take full responsibility for the way I was going into it, but I definitely knew that I was not going to just sit around and wait for things to magically kind of fall in together. I believe in manifesting. I believe in taking action. I believe in just putting things out there and just start. So it took me a while to mentally prepare myself to get to the point where I was okay with like putting it out there. But I think it was kind of like fueled by the Aries energy. I was just like, fuck it. Like literally, fuck it. You know, yes, it's not gonna look perfect. But then it's like, what was I even aiming for? That's the thing. I don't even have the standard of perfection. Like I don't even know what I was aiming for. And that's another thing that I learned about myself throughout this process is like I'm actually very hard on myself. And I've always been like this. It's not new, and no, it's not really debilitating. If anything, like and it's not about insecurities. I don't have a low self-esteem. It's not about those things. It's more like, I don't know if there's like even like a word to describe this, but yeah, it kind of made me realize how much like yes, I am passionate. Yes, I like to get things done. I'm very driven. I'm a go-getter. It's very intense, but in the same way, I kind of forget to nourish myself. Like I'm very hard on myself. Like yesterday, when I was getting this site reviewed by my community members, like they were all like giving me compliments and like they were like giving me support and encouragement, but like I was like, I couldn't really absorb those words. And it's not because I don't feel good about it. I feel good about it. Logically, I know that I am proud of myself, but I've always struggled with like actually, I don't know. I think it's something deep that I guess it's something that I need to like work more on. But then again, like I don't really see it as an issue. If anything, it's not an issue, but it's definitely something that I've observed throughout this time. And I think I could do more work around the area. So I'm happy that I discovered that, because I think it's important to give yourself like some slack when it comes to just giving yourself like the space to be proud, to feel proud of self. And I'm not saying I'm not proud. That's really not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't feel good about it. I feel good about it because I trust myself. I trust myself more than anything, and that's why I put shit out there, because I trust in my ability to make shit happen. I mean, like this thing, I put it out, like this is exactly what I mean by making things happen. I thought about it, I wanted it to happen, and I made it happen. I'm putting it out there now. But it's really interesting how much the contradiction, like things can coexist at the same time. Like the way that I feel like I can get things done, like I trust myself to do anything, but also there's this other thought that coexists, like why can't I feel like I like actually accomplished something? Like it's an accomplishment, but it doesn't, I don't know how to explain this, but I know exactly what this feeling is. But I think it's just that I'm just like always like the worst self-critic. And even if people were trying to give you support, all the words of encouragement they could, it's not about that. It's not other people's words towards me that make me feel this way. It's my own head. So anyways, so that was interesting that I learned about that, along with other things. Like throughout this development process, I had other moments of like epiphanies, and just I had like little moments of dark nights of the soul here and there. They weren't like major. I think the reason why they didn't become major is because I actually progressed through those moments very quickly by applying the lessons and the things that I had learned before. So, you know, once you apply lessons, the tests are very like easy. So that was good. And I think I'm also looking at my calendar. Why does it say March? I need to up the because it's the board thing. It's April. Yeah, because I was looking at March. I was like, this is a slow month. And then I was like, no, we're in April. Things are moving fast. Like, shit is happening. I was like, I need to be on. Oh, I have like shit on my face. I need to be on top of my shit and like update these things. But yeah, I wanted to just document this moment so that I can maybe like hopefully I'll look back to this video like 5 years later, maybe like I'd be a freaking multi-millionaire. I don't know. And then it's just imagine looking back, and it's just humbling. I definitely also want to recognize like I'm like shaking. But I'm not nervous. I think when I like dive into my feelings and sentiments, I just become overly like, I get overwhelmed with like the amount of gratitude I feel, because I have to actually stop myself from like doing things to actually feel the gratitude I feel. I mean, I never feel ungrateful. I'm aware that like my life has been it's been showered with blessings, and obviously like I feel like I deserve them because I work for them. I'm not just sitting here just expecting things to change and happen. So I'm realizing the way that my life is moving forward, and just like the way that things are like moving fast after, you know, the shift, and like the way that I'm really committed to my path and my journey and my peace, most importantly, and just making things happen just like that. So it's humbling to be in the position of receiving the results and the rewards, you know, reaping what I sow, and walking with God, and just walking with God. That's what it is. Walking with God. Like even like looking back at this time last year, like this is once again, I'm not trying to derail off of this topic. I just basically wanted to talk about just my feelings right now, like the way I feel before I give birth in a few hours, and the amount of responsibilities I will actually, you know what, I actually like that I think this maybe makes more sense. I think I need to cut myself some slack, knowing that this is my first time launching business, so obviously I can't expect perfection, but me knowing me, like I'm very like task oriented person. When it comes to business matters, I'm very serious, so I know I'm not gonna let myself slack. So it's good that I put it out there, so it gives me a reason to propel more stuff onto it. So I think it makes more sense this way. And I, you know what, like whatever, like I always figure stuff out anyway. And yeah, I think I'm excited that it's about to be out, and it has so much potential for growth and expansion, and the potential is limitless. Oh, erase that. Potential is limitless. It's infinite. The possibility of where this could go, it's infinite. I'm just mostly excited that I have another brand, and the brand that my heart really connects with. So I'm super excited about that. Because I think that's the thing. I think that's why I'm very much like more sensitive and careful with this, because I was cooking my chicken. It's like I have to turn my oven off. That's if you hear a sizzling in the background, that's because I'm cooking. So yeah, what was I saying? I got distracted by the chicken word. All I can think about is chicken now, because I'm also hungry right now. But yeah, April, I think it's a good start, and I think I'm giving birth on a good date, April 12th, and I'm just really grateful for the people that I have and the people that I don't have anymore. I really learned a lot. Even like, I mean, I'm always learning, but even through this development period, like I learned more. You know, like everything that you do really has an effect. Everything that you do, whether it's words, thoughts, actions, choices you make, every deed that you do, it creates an effect. And unless you're aware of that, you're not gonna understand what I'm talking about. But especially with energy, how you interact with different energy and how you transmute the energy really has an effect on like what kind of stuff that you create with your own reality. So I guess I'm just more conscious now. I've always been conscious, but I'm just seeing the way how certain things transpired through this development process. Because this is the thing, right? For things to happen, or for you to actually learn something, things have to happen, right? This is why, like, you can't expect things to change in life just sitting there and just you're expecting your thoughts to take you places. But yes, that is partially true, but you have to dive into things physically to receive some sort of guidance or answers, information, right? So yeah, I had anticipated this video to be a lot more emotional, but I don't think this is the direction of this video. Actually, if anything, I'm like more calm, right? Which is good, because these are like my authentic thoughts in the moment. I'm grateful. I'm excited, but I'm still nervous, but I think it's natural that I feel this way. And I feel like people don't think like I'm making a big deal. Like, I have talked about like how I feel like I'm about to literally give birth. Like, this is like the same feeling. Like, people thought that I was just exaggerating. It's not exaggeration. Like, literally, I see this as like my baby. And it made me realize, like, holy crap, like, I have commitment issues. No, actually, no, that's a lie. That's a joke. I don't have commitment issues. I think it's the fact that I don't do things based on just my feelings. I mean, I do. Most of the things that I do are inspired by the feelings of my heart, but I always know what I'm getting myself into. And that's why I haven't gotten a dog or a pet, because I know the responsibility that comes with it, and I'm not ready for that. So obviously my soul is ready for this new chapter, right? So that's why I even did it, because if it wasn't the time, I wouldn't have actually done it. So God, I'm like rambling at this point, but this is just what it helps me understand myself, like, when I just let myself talk about it. And yeah, it's gonna be good to also share these thoughts that I have with other people as well, you know. I'm setting an example. Just because you try new things, it's not always from a place of knowing everything. Like, I am ready to make mistakes here, like take some bumps here, take some challenges, because that's what life is. Every time you go into something, like, learning comes with challenges, but I'm ready for that, and that's why I'm in it. So God, so imagine if I was actually giving birth, though. Like, that's scary to me. This made me realize that I am not ready for a baby. I'm not ready for a baby. That scares me, actually. Like, I actually realized, like, I made the connection to that, like, when I was thinking about this. I was like, yo, if this scares me, although it's not like real fear, it's like whatever, it's a figure of speech. Maybe it's partially true, though. Like, it is still fear, but I don't know. For me, like, fear, I don't want to disregard fear at all, but fear doesn't really, it's so insignificant to me. Like, fear is just an emotion. It's just it's not a real obstacle for me. Like, I think it's because I have some balls. Like, I think it's the fact that I've literally like I've faced so much in my life. Like, I had fought so much that I'm like afraid of nothing, you know? If I'm more afraid of settling. So whatever, I'm gonna just face whatever challenges. But yeah, it's so funny. Like, this made me realize, like, oh my God, like, how am I gonna deal with the commitment to an actual baby? But well, so what time is it? I've been babbling for a long time. It's almost 8 o'clock. 4 hours until it's up. If you watch this, you're gonna think that I'm like putting up something so like big, like something so extraordinary, but that's not it at all. Like, it's not about what I'm putting out. It's the fact that I'm doing it. It's the fact that I'm birthing this brand. So anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing me talk. I know that this video is going to be a valuable asset for me, like, years later when I look back, and I'm gonna smile about it. So yeah, well, future Vicky, if you're watching this, yeah, I am doing this shit for you now. So hopefully you are in a good place, constantly being blessed and protected. I love you.